live on Instagram. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Let's see if this Instagram thing doesn't want to work. Well, that's okay. Maybe it is. Oh, it is working. There we go. Okay. It just didn't. Yeah, we're everywhere now.
Doing it.
Okay. In theory, this is on. We're using technology. We're on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. So welcome, guys. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Thank you guys all for joining us on this Wednesday night. We're going to be talking about, what are we talking about?
November lesson plans.
November lesson plans.
Lots of balloons over Broadway.
Lots of balloons
ideas,
over Broadway.
Even new stuff for this year.
Yeah.
So I know that's a favorite.
Yes. Okay. We got South Carolina, Maine. That's fun. Welcome. Georgia, Elberton, Iowa. Welcome, everyone. We are in Indiana. We live in Elkhart, Indiana, which is basically on the border of Michigan. So Frisco. Hey, man. Welcome. Kentucky. Guys, we're also doing, are we doing a giveaway tonight?
Yep.
We are. So, guys, we're doing a giveaway. Tell the people what they can win.
A set of farm mini kits from 3 Ducks Design.
Ooh, those are fun. You guys like building with cardboard, 3 Ducks Design, great stuff, really fun.
Yeah, I just introduced our GT teacher to it this week. The kids are building a city, and she's like, okay, they told me you are the person to talk to. What ideas do you have? And I was like, have you seen 3 Ducks before? And she's like, oh, what is this? Mm-hmm. So when I walked down to our early childhood building, she was down there with the kids working with it today.
Guys, in order to win, all you've got to do in order to win those 3 Ducks things is comment. All you got to do, and you're automatically entered to win. So if you leave a comment at any point during this, you're in, and we'll draw at the end. So tonight we are here with Connie Ann, the wonderful Connie Ann, and she's going to be going through all of the lessons, and there's a free guide
for pre-K. Oh, we have a new. So for those of you who don't know, we decided we were going to start adding pre-K to our planning sessions. So we used to just do kindergarten through 5th grade. And then Connie Ann thought she was going to do pre-K. So we started doing pre-K, and then she was told she was not doing pre-K. And I'll let you finish, Connie Ann.
And then surprise, in a week, I'm starting to teach pre-K. So as we are doing those of you veteran pre-K teachers, if you have any suggestions, please email me. Let me know what's working, what could be improved. I'm going to be testing them out myself and see how it goes.
So the pre-K lessons are about to get even more epic as Connie Ann tests out some different things with her new little students.
Oh, guys, I see some fellow Hoosiers on here. Michigan City, Jasper. Welcome. Let's see. Do we have any other announcements?
Oh, there is a sign up. If you are a STEM Teachers Club member, we dropped a Google form in the membership Facebook group, which if you're like, I'm a member and I didn't know there was a membership Facebook group, there's a membership Facebook group. I'm sure Emily will drop the link in the comments here in a minute. The next STEM Teacher Summit, which is still going to be all about creativity, is coming up on January 3rd. And we are looking for more STEM quick tips from some of our amazing members. It's just like a 3 to 5 minute video of like an amazing hack or idea or something that's working in your STEM classroom that you just do a quick little informal video. And we have all of those amazing tips in the membership. So we are looking for some amazing submissions for that. You get a free STEM t-shirt.
Yeah.
If you submit. So make sure you check that out. We would love some submissions. And I know we have a lot of fun ideas that Connie Ann's going to share. So I will, without further ado, let her go ahead.
Over.
All right, guys. So we are already looking at November. I know our first semester ends in just the end of this week. So it's crazy that a quarter of our year is done already. If you are new to our webinars, my name is Connie Ann Roussel. I'm in charge of literacy and innovation at Randolph Elementary School. I get to work with Carly and Adam developing curriculum for you guys. And if you're ever looking to get in touch with me or have questions, you can email me at school@roussel@rfisd.net, or you can find me on Instagram at Sumtasticmama. Like Carly and Adam said, our giveaway tonight is 3 ducks. So here you can see a little better if it's something that you're not familiar with. So they are these reusable plastic cardboard connectors. Here they're shown with some of the pre-cut cardboard they come with, but you can use them with any kind of cardboard. I'm excited to try them out try them now with, we just got one of those chomp saws, if anyone has seen them, and our kids have been like loving it. So if you haven't seen it, it's like a safety electrical saw for cardboard that we're using in our makerspace. So I'm excited to see when I take out the 3 ducks with it, what the kids are going to come up with that. So all you have to do is comment and you'll be entered. And it's 8 of these farm mini kits and challenge booklets. And there will be 1 winner for that. If you don't win tonight, you can still be a winner with 10% off using the coupon Lucky Ducks. And this will be good through the end of October. So with November and some of the months coming up, we see where, some people can do holidays, some people can't. So we try to give 2 different pathways for you. You can either follow a path, you can mix and match if your school allows you to, but we want to give all the options so that you have plenty of things to plan with. So first with pre-K is our little acorn book. And here we're working on the math and STEM, where they have little acorns and 10 frames, and they're putting little counters on to work on their counting skills. Then after that, we have the day the crayons give thanks, which goes along with the day the crayons quit. And in here, you're working together where each kid can either write or draw on the crayon what they're thankful for, and then you can display all your crayons together in your classroom that way. And then throughout all the grade levels, we're going to be using our new autumn STEM centers. So this week, we're really lucky. I'm in Texas, and Texas has just in the last year revamped their mobile STEM lab. So there's, I think, 9 now that go through the state. You kind of go into a lottery for it, and we got picked to do it. So we have that going on right now. So I'm out in the mobile STEM lab with all our kiddos. And my husband, who is actually becoming a teacher now, is subbing in my class, and he's been doing the autumn STEM centers. So I will go over that a little bit more after, but with all those, you're able to pick to see what works best with your students. In kindergarten, we're using our 10 fat turkeys. So the turkeys are up on the fence, and so the kids have to put them in order. You can have them put it counting up or counting down. And these ones I usually use with Keva planks, but you could use it with a variety of things. The only thing I would suggest, Legos aren't super great because of the little nubs on there. The clips tend to fall over and kids get a little frustrated. Then we have our Leaf Creativity Challenge, A Leaf Can Be. We know some of you have looked for in the past Leaf Thief, and Scholastic had said, hey, we're not sharing that book with you. So if you're familiar with our Leaf Thief, this is what it is now. A Leaf Can Be. This is also a great story to use it with, but there's a couple different creativity options with this in there. And then our Autumn STEM Centers again. First grade, we have Our Table. So here's another great book by Peter Reynolds, and the importance of coming together as a family. So they're going to put their little family around the table and build it, and their challenge is to make it big enough so that all the food can stay on there. Next, we have Leaf Man. So here, if you are in a place where you have leaves falling and you can go get some real leaves, you can do that. Down in Texas, I don't have a lot of those. So I use fabric or paper leaves that are cut out for my students with this one. But this is a fun, creative one too. But yeah, if you can get outside with the kids and let them pick their own leaf, I think that's an added bonus with this one. and then our STEM centers. In second grade, Thanksgiving at the Tappletons. In this book, the hecticness of of Thanksgiving morning ends up with the turkey sliding out of the kitchen door and into a lake. And so they have to fish the turkey out of the lake, and they do that by constructing their own fishing rod. This is one of my favorite ones to do with the kids. I love to see what they come up with, and they get really excited seeing how many of the turkeys they can pick up. Oh, Michael's has fake leaves 50% off right now. Thank you very much, Roanne. Next, we have turkey trouble. So this is like very similar to the Tom the Turkey and camouflage him type of thing that kids do usually like in kindergarten. But I like bringing this up to second grade because it's like the kids are getting older and sometimes they don't get to do like the fun crafty stuff anymore in second grade so much. So I like to do this with them there and see now that they're older and it's more of an independent one, since the kindergarten ones tend to get sent home as a family project, to see what our second graders come up with that. And then third week is our centers. Then we have the plump and perky turkey. And so this is good on two levels. They're working on balancing. So they have to make the turkey and then they have to have him balance on his legs. But then you can also add symmetry in there when they're coloring the feathers of the turkey, if you would like to add that part. And then we're going to Turk and Runt, and you have to help hide him for Thanksgiving so he's safe. And then centers again. Then next, fourth grade, the Great Turkey Race. I always have fun with these ones with the kids when they're trying to figure out different obstacle courses. If you haven't done the STEM centers with the STEM skills and paper connecting, I would definitely show some of those options with paper connection before you do this, just so the kids have a better idea of how they can structure things to tape or glue on more securely. And then we have a non-digital coding, so unplugged coding, that's the word I was looking for, with Thank You, Sarah. And the kids can work in paired partners and go back and forth and practice coding paths. And then third week is autumn centers. And then lastly, fifth grade, was the night before Thanksgiving. Here they have a pulley system going, and they have to create something that is going to cover up the turkey using a pulley. So adding kind of an extra addition to that with the pulleys. And then here we also have the pulley challenge with the biggest pumpkin ever. So the first one, you have it where they're using the pulley to get something to drop down. The second one, they're needing to build a structure that is strong enough to actually pull a small pumpkin up. And I would definitely try to get real mini pumpkins over foam pumpkins for this one, just because you want that weight to be part of it as well. All right, so here I wanted to bring you into the centers. I'm going to go through them all with you and then tell you how I use them in class. So here we have an apple tower. For this, I ended up pulling out the little stems from it so that it was easier for them to stack it with Play-Doh. But they can experiment with balance and seeing how tall of a tower they can make. Then next we have leaf mirror magic. So the idea of a reflective kind of symmetry type of thing. They're adding that extra side of the leaf on it. And then they can color them in. I gave my older kids colored pencils, so they're doing a really great job of kind of like trying to make some fall colors out of that. And in here we have this kind of more simple graphics with leaves. And then there's also a more complicated one that you could use with the older kids. Then we have autumn pattern play. So here they are working on patterns. And in this picture, I had just put them just on the card itself. But in the classroom, what I ended up doing, I laminated them. And then I put Velcro on the back of each card and then on those 4 spaces. And then what I did was I made 4 sets for the 4 seats at that station. On the back I labeled the seat number. So the whole stack in seat 1 is 1s, 2 is 2, and so forth. And then I matched the correct answers onto it, then pulled those off and wrote that seat number on those cards as well. So if it gets mixed up, I can easily see which cards should go with what seat number. So it keeps them going. But patterns are also a great thing for our younger students, especially to practice. Then we have a cornfield maze. So here we're using some Lego flats and Legos. And you could also do this if you needed to with Duplos, with bigger ones. But here they're just getting the idea of a maze. And then for added fun, you could add a minifig in there for them to go through the maze. Next, we have our pumpkin bridge builders. So here we use snap cubes to build it. You can use any kind of supplies that you have. And once again, here I just had a foam pumpkin because that's what I had on hand, but I would definitely try to get one of those mini ones so it has some weight to it, so it challenges the kids a little bit more. Maybe just use the foam pumpkins for the younger kids. And then I just explain to them whenever we're using the real mini pumpkins that we want these to last. So if they're poking it with pencils or fingernails or anything like that, then it's not going to last for the other students. And we want to make sure that everyone gets to do that. Next, we have our agamograph. Yes, agamograph. Okay, so these are fun ones. So the way it starts, you can see here in the picture. So there's a full picture here, and there's a full picture here. So the kids will color it, cut it out into strips, and then you are layering each one with A1, B2, C3. So it's every other one, and then you accordion fold it like this. So when the kids move it back and forth, it's going to change between those two pictures for them. Now, this does take longer than some of the other centers do. And I had some kids that were getting frustrated that there wasn't a seat in that. So maybe as the class period goes on, if you have some more that want to work on that, maybe open another table to use that on. Or I also let them know that if they just never had time to get to it, they could also take those printables home and they can do it there so that they can still enjoy that. Tree makers, here we have a trunk that is out of a toilet paper roll. We are laying popsicle sticks on top and then just some felt leaves. And they're just seeing how many they could put on there. The older kids really, I think they were getting up to like 80 leaves on there. They were sitting there meticulously counting all of them. So even the older kids were having fun with that one. Then we have Shape It Up. We're using our pattern blocks, and we have apple themed cards in this set there. Then we're going to Web Weavers. So here they have mini cups. These are kind of just like the mouthwash size ones, but you can really use anything. I just had an abundance of these in my classroom, so I figured that was a good size. Then they're using popsicle sticks to connect it to kind of like make the web. And then their challenge is to see how many spiders they can keep on top of the web. Next, we have a scarecrow glyph with the scarecrow creations. So they're picking if they want a boy or girl scarecrow, and then picking if they like sweater or hoodies to determine the clothes, if they prefer Halloween or Thanksgiving to pick out the shirt, and their hat is their favorite fall color. So they can color, cut, and glue this onto a piece of construction paper. Next, a fall sort. So I just took things that I had from other things and put them together in a bin of the 4 different colors. I added a little challenge to this. So we use some like kid chopsticks. So they're chopsticks, but they have like a connector on the top. So they're easy for them to handle with one hand. And to kind of give it a little bit more challenge with the sort, they're having to move things with the chopsticks into the place where they belong. Then I love these like little math games that you often see. So I wanted to make something like that. So here we have leaf code breakers. So they have to figure out what each value of the leaves are. So for example, the first leaf and the first leaf together equals 20. So if that's the same number, we know 10 and 10 equals 20. If we know that is 10 and I'm subtracting some other leaf, it equals 8. So then that must be 2. And then if that is 2 and I am getting to 6, then I need 4 to be the other leaf, and I add all 3 of them together to get 16. These ones have an addition and subtraction, and then one that is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So depending on what grades are out is which ones I put out. Okay, so quickly, one thing, just going over the centers. So the way I have them right now, I have 6 tables. And so I have 6 of the centers out, and I end up, in the past, I would do K1, 2, all had the same centers, and then 3, 4, 5 all had the same centers. But now my schedule goes K1, 4, 3, 2, 5. So because 2 is smack in the middle of the day with, well, towards the end between 3rd and 5th, don't have the time to switch things out like that. So 2nd grade is doing the activities along with 3, 4, 5. So what I do is I have the 6 out. I take away like the fall sort. I took away, let's see what else. I took away the shape it up and the pattern play for the younger kids, and then put out some of the other ones for them. You can do that however you want. You can keep all of them out the same if you want, but that just seems to work well for me. Another thing that my husband came up with today, he was finding when he had them out that the little tank cards were kind of getting lost in the mix of them because the kids would move them and they kind of flatten down. So he just put a little binder clip on the top of it, and it pinched it just enough to like keep it tented during it. So that was another little helpful hint for you. All right, so my favorite time of the year is Balloons Over Broadway. I grew up right outside of New York City, so my parents often took my sister and I down to the parade for Thanksgiving morning. And then we've been lucky enough to take our girls at a time too. Yes, Nicole. Okay, so Nicole just had a question. Do you explain each center ahead of time? So what I've been doing is I just put dots down in my classroom for the kids to line up. So it kind of goes around the way my tables are this year. So what I did was when I was saying, like greeting them at the door, I asked them, instead of going to their seat, will you please just go stand on a dot? So they're kind of around my tables now looking. And then I go through and I let them know, okay, at this table, we have shape it up. So you're going to use your shapes and you're going to match them up to create the picture that is on. So I just go table by table, explain to them what they're doing. And then truthfully, what works best for me is then I release them like 4 at a time and let them go pick a table to start at. I don't have them rotate through like on a set amount of time, but you definitely could do that. Also, like in kindergarten today, like all the kids wanted to do the scarecrow. So my husband just kind of like paused things and was like, okay, we're all going to do the scarecrow together. And that was fine too. Like they all enjoyed doing that. But yeah, I just basically, slow release them to a table, let them know once they're finished at that center, if they'll please clean up their area, and then they can get up and move their things onto another table and give that, once there's a seat open, then you can rotate through to those other tables. So that is how I work that. Hopefully that helps. And yes, for like the kindergartners with the glyph and stuff, I'll just, well, I have a para that helps me during kindergarten. So I have an extra set of hands in there, but one of us is there to help kind of read it down with them. Yeah, so I have dots. The way we got these gigantic TVs in our room, so I don't really have a center line for our kids to line up. So just kind of snaking around my table, I have where they line up at the end of the day, and I have some circle dots on there. All right, so yes, back to Balloons Over Broadway. Years ago when this book came out, I was teaching 3rd grade, and I loved it, but never really had a way to use it in class. So when I became the STEM teacher, I was so excited to add this. And every year, November, Balloons Over Broadway is the big part of our school. So for pre-K, we have some new lessons here. So we are working on shapes in our first one, and is a shape match task cards. So there's all different balloons in different shapes. On the bottom of each card is 3 silhouettes of shapes. And then they're going to use clothespins to match the silhouette shape to the shape they're seeing on the balloon. And then you could leave them that way and kind of just do a quick check as they're going through to see, assess how they're doing with their shapes. Then next, balloons over Broadway color match activity. So here we have a bunch of different larger cards with a cityscape behind it and different colored balloons. And now they're working on matching shapes. So I just found these by Learning Resources. They are great little tweezers, but I think these are going to work great with my pre-K kids because they're small for their little hands and they have like little grabbies with them too. So I think these will make it really easy for the pre-K students to be able to pick up the pom-pom, and then they're going to match it onto the balloon there with it. So I recommend trying those as well. And then last, I thought it would be fun for the kids to kind of make their own parade. So there's all different crown templates with different parades on there. The kids can pick out which balloon they want to be. They could color it in, use a sentence strip to make the crown. And you can march through the school with your cute pre-Kers. Or if you don't have pre-K and you want to use this with kindergarten, that was truthfully what my plan was going to be before I found out I was going to have pre-K. So this is a fun one that you can use as well. And then a cute thing they could take home and maybe wear for Thanksgiving. For kindergarten, I always do our paper plate, no balloons over Broadway challenge. So here we're using a paper plate. We are putting a large popsicle stick on the back, and they are making their balloon from the paper plate. Then after that, we use a green screen, which if you do not have a green screen, you can simply get a dollar store green plastic tablecloth, and that works great. And so I end up filming them. I delete the background and put in a cityscape behind it, put it to some marching band music, and make a little parade out of all the kindergarten classes with their Balloons Over Broadway challenge. If you haven't seen that video before, if you go onto my school Instagram, Imaginarium RES on Instagram, if you go back a couple months, well, if you go back a year in November, or you can wait for a couple weeks and check it out, but you can find our video on there. And then continuing with our creativity, we have some fun creativity challenges. And a lot of this, like with November, it's seeing what fits with your school. Like for me, we're off the entire week of Thanksgiving, so we're closed then. And because Veterans Day is a Tuesday this year, we are off Monday and Tuesday. So it depends on how much I'm seeing all these classes, how many weeks we're going to get to, and things like that. You can use various video editing systems. I used to use WeVideo, but then our school got rid of it. So I do it right in Canva. I just put it up and delete the background and just make slides out of that way. Then for my first, second, and third graders, I'm going to do robotics with them. Now, I'm going to give you the ideas that I'm using, but use whatever your school has. If you have a limited amount of robots and maybe you have to use one kind for all of them, like the kids are still going to love that. So go with whatever you have. Kubo was something that was already purchased by our school before I was there. It is a very simple, easy coding robot. I use it with the activity for the Ozobot coding activity, but change it out with Kubo. With Kubo, it's little tiles that you actually snap together, and then it's easy for the first graders to just put it on top and it follows the path along it. And then I use the printable cards from the Ozobot lesson just to line the streets. And instead of using a pipe cleaner like I do with the Ozobots, I use a popsicle stick and then just tape it to the back. Sometimes if we're short on time, And I want to make sure that all the kids have it, or if you have a limited amount of robots, you can also tape multiple popsicle sticks on the back, kind of like fan them out. And then all the kids' balloons are moving through it at the same time. So you don't have to worry about who has more time. Then for second grade, we actually use balloons. If you have not done this before, invest in a electric balloon pump. I got mine from Walmart like 5 years ago for, I think, $20. You do not want to blow up all these balloons. So definitely get an automatic balloon blower so that you can use it for this. Here we make the balloons. They can either create their own, like we've had some funny ones where they've made like a Santa and things, since they know Santa closes out the parade. And then, or Bluey, whatever's popular at the time. Or there's these printable ones that they can color and add on there. And then I use straws to connect it with some tape to our robots and have them go around on the blue bots. Then we have our Ozobots that I'm doing with the third grade. So that lesson is in there. And in there, you can use Ozobots. They are color reading robots. They're like super tiny. And you can do it with any kind of marker. So you can make like a huge classroom size on like butcher paper and have them going all around together. I do it at the table because I have the magnetic tiles. If you have the funds for it, I think the magnetic tiles are great, because what I found was the kids, when I would give them the markers, they would keep wanting to change it, and we went through a lot of paper. So these are just magnetic tiles that go on a board, and then Ozobot will follow it. And then there's different coding sets to it. So depending on the colors that are together, it'll spin or speed up or slow down. On their website, which we have a link in the product to, you can also, if you have a 3D printer, if you look in the picture, it's actually blue. And so what I did was I 3D printed these caps that go on top of the Ozobot. And I have the one that just has like a tiny little point to the top that has a hole, and a pipe cleaner fits perfectly in there. So the kids make their little mini balloons on a pipe cleaner. And then when we're actually coding it, they just put the pipe cleaner in it, and it bops around as they go through the parade. For fourth grade, we are doing balloon floats. So just something different for them to mix it up. I had a group make a Wally one last year that I loved. So that one is still in my classroom now. But like we always talk about the balloons, and the floats are a really big part of the parade as well. So that was something we looked at last year. And depending on the time you have, there's a whole PBL part to it that you can include if you want for your students. And then also, I mean, you could also make these where you add wheels and a robot and have them move it after, depending on how much time you have. Then fifth grade, we have a brand new Balloons Over Broadway lesson with stop motion animation that I'm super excited about. So these black lines that you see here are actually just a wire locker shelf. So growing up, if you had a locker and wanted to have all your things neatly organized and put one of those little shelves in there that has the wire kind of like mesh on top, this works great with iPads to make your own kind of like document camera for it. So they just have to line up the iPad on top so it finds its way through the square of the wires. You probably have to shift it over a little to be more centered. We have 2 different printable cities for you in there. You can either pick the color ones, or you can have the kids use the black and white versions and have them color them themselves. And then here we have our mini balloons again on the popsicle sticks. You can do it on pipe cleaners. And then there's also just the plain balloons where they can create their own balloon for it. But using the stop motion app, this is what you end up with. So it was super easy to do. I had never used the app before doing this lesson. So I loved having that as an option. Can you, Chromebooks? I don't know, actually. I tried using a camera for stop motion a couple years ago, and I couldn't get it to work right with the Chromebook, with where you had to plug it in. So I don't know if anyone else has done stop motion with Chromebooks before and can chime in and help Lisa with that. All right, so here is my process I wanted to explain of how I do this with my students. So the first day, that I see them of that week, I just have a student exploration day. So I'm going to take them through that robot, explain to them how the robot works. I will often have them like practice, especially the little kids. We have tiles on our floor, and I'll explain to them, okay, well, this is moving forward. So how would it be if you told it to move forward 4 tiles? Show me with your body. How are you moving 4 tiles? If you tell it to turn right, now it's not moving right like a car would into the right tile, but it's just turning 90 degrees. And then you would have to tell it to go forward again to move that. So we kind of play around with the tiles. We play around with the robot, depending on the grade level. Some robots come with task cards that maybe you might want to give them those. I just really let them kind of explore, kind of work on getting their robot to go back and forth between team members and just kind of have a fun day with it. Then the next time is when we actually do the engineering. We're building the robot, building the balloons on that day. And then on the next time is where we're putting it all together. Now, if the way my schedule is, I have the kids 2 days in a row 1 week, and then not the next week, and then 2 days the following week. So if you have something that is more like 1 day a week, what I would recommend doing is like build all the pieces, have them design the face and any tail or any other thing that they want with it, color it in, cut it out, have that ready, but then wait for them to actually tape it to the balloons until they come back to the other week. 1, you don't have room for all these balloons in your classroom. 2, most of them will probably deflate or get messed up anyway. So just have them that they're ready and let them know, okay, then we're just going to get them on the balloons and get going, and then they can code and do their parade together. And with the larger robots, we kind of just do one big parade as a team. So some bonus ideas. We added this one last year with landmarks, and this you can see in here, it has the coding option that you can add to it if you want to put the landmarks together, if you have some more time. These were also made with 3 ducks. So we use that for our kids to put their cardboard pieces together easily. We also have a brand new STEM mats. So maybe, you go to school those first couple days before Thanksgiving, you kind of are not going to see all your classes and just want something engaging for the students to do. We've got all new fall STEM mats. So we have these available in plus blocks, in hashtag blocks, and in fall snap cubes. So those are all there for you as well. And then we have a brand new collaborative poster, Choose to Be Kind. So 2 great opportunities coming up for this. Unity Day is October 22nd. And then World Kindness Day is November 13th. So this one goes really well with either one of those celebrations. And then I had gotten an email, and then sometimes we also see questions online on the Facebook group about like storage. And I just saw one pop up today about it. So I just wanted to go over how I do it in my program. And this has completely changed since the beginning. So my classroom organization. So we have team tubs. I have them color coded because my tables are color coded. And then I also quickly learned that if I don't specifically show them where each one will go, they're going to be completely out of order. Some students aren't going to care. And then other students are going to stand there and rearrange all of them. So I just took a piece of construction paper, laminated it, stuck it to the back, and it's a quick visual for my students to see where their bins go. In there, we have scissors, glue sticks, color sticks, and pencils in there as well. So I use our jobs for the material manager each time. their job is when they get started to go get their team tub. So lesson files. When I first started, I took plastic bins. I would put the supplies that I needed for that challenge. I would put the book. I would put my lesson plan in there. And then I would put all the files for those grade, like for K through 5 for that week together. And then the problem that ended up happening, if I decided to change something the next year, which I always ended up doing and finding different things, then I'm trying to go through these bins of different weeks that are not labeled with what's actually inside and having to go back through last year's lesson plans to discover things. And it ended up not working out for me. So this year I switched to filing cabinets. I have 3 different filing cabinets because of all the awesome lessons we have. So I just use these Amazon Basic report covers and then the clear sheet protectors, and I put all my lessons in there. This is also great when you have a sub that all the information is right there for them. And so I can leave my lesson plans and leave all the guidebooks to go along with them for them. In here in the filing cabinet, so I have the book in there. As long as it's not oversized, I just have a separate section for some oversized books. I put that guidebook in there. And then if I made photocopies and ended up having extra, then I just stick those in there for the next year. If it's something flat, like a task card or something like the pre-K balloons over Broadway, those task cards would get filed in here as well because it's something flat and easy to file. So my challenge materials, I then have, these are sitting on top of my storage unit. So in there, I have the book and I have the guide, so they're ready to go. And the kids like never get enough of seeing the book up. They get excited like, oh my gosh, because I play the videos for them, but then they notice that the books are up there and they get super excited. Like, that's the book we read. And then underneath, I just have like the next one ready to go as well. And then it's kind of hard to see, but it says first there. So I have them labeled ready for, so I have a quick visual of what grade level that is. Oop. Sorry, I hit the wrong thing. Okay. Then next, so these are inside my storage. So I have a 4-story storage container. I have 3 of these shelves. And then these are just book bins that I had from teaching 3rd grade. And then I numbered them not with the table number, but with the grade level number. So all that top row is 2nd grade. I will put the materials per team in there. Typically, I put 4 because there's 4 seats. I tried once before, like keeping a list inside of who the teacher was and how many kids were at each table. But kids are going to be absent. We're a military school, so kids are coming and going all the time. And it was kind of more hassle than it was worth. So I just load everything up for 4 kids, and I tell them if there's extra, just keep it in there for the next team that needs it. And then these bins underneath are like, say something needs like pipe cleaners and clothespins, then I'll put loose materials that I need in one of those bins. So when I'm restocking, everything is right there, ready to go. And then in the other bin is going to be all my papers and planning pages that they may need for whatever the challenge is. So I have this all set up right now, K to 5, and then I got to figure out still where my pre-K is going. Then for all the rest of my materials, so after a challenge is done or before the challenge has started, I just have all my materials in different storage bins in my classroom. And then I use all of our labels that are on the membership. So this way I have a visual quickly to find where things are. But then the other teacher I work with, it's easy for her to come in and see where things are. Or if I have a substitute, they have a quick visual to look at where to find things. And then here are my extra like kind of bulky challenge supplies. So what I decided to do, for example, with this month, I have Room on a Broom and the pumpkin catapult that I use the mini pumpkins for. And so I just have those in one of these tubs labeled pumpkins. But then there's other things like Newton and Curie where I actually have like the pieces of the lever ready for them to toss. And I don't want to recreate that every time. So I have those completely put together and in a bin, and I have that labeled with the title of the lesson. Same thing with beaks. Those supplies that I use for beaks, I don't use for other lessons. So I just keep those all together in one. And then there's a couple different lessons where they need sets of Legos that match, like 10 paired Legos. And instead of like every year trying to go through our bins and find those sets, we decided just to keep those in baggies clipped together and have those in a bin as well. But really, like, it's trial and error each year, seeing what works for you, seeing how much storage you have to put things. But these are just some tips of things that have been working for me. So our Canva tip tonight is about our templates. So on the membership, we have our templates to go along with our lessons. And so here we have like the dot, sink, or float. So when you click on the link, it's going to bring you to this, and it's going to tell you to view your template. Okay. Now, when I'm doing this with kindergartners, which they absolutely love it, but it would take me the whole time if I was trying to have them like write down what each of these circles and spheres were. If I had them draw it, it's going to basically all look like a bunch of circles. So what I decided to do was I made my bins of what items we were using. I took a picture of it. I deleted the background, put it onto the slide, and then numbered them. So now when we're going through, they're just writing a number like, okay, number 1, here's our golf ball. Do you think it's going to sink or float? And they would put the number 1 on each one. So this works a lot better. It also gives them a visuals for as we're going around the table. And I say, okay, I need you to pick up the button, number 7, hold up your button, let me see it. Then they have something to match it with. Now, one recommendation with exactly this one in particularly, I forgot I did this last year, pulled out all different things. And then when I went to go into the slides, realized that I had done this the previous year. So if you do something like this, print out this slide and slip it in the front of your lesson guide. So you're ready to go the next year with that. Here too, this was another one of the, this was the dot hoop flyer that we were doing. And so I just screenshot the inside of the paper because they were kind of struggling with this part. I made sure, okay, here's your pick. And I put, are you putting 2 large, 2 small, 1 large and 1 small? So I wrote that out for them. And then I printed the 3 different templates on different color paper. So they had a visual. So if you had the green paper, then you were writing for the column with the 2 large. So I put a green rectangle around there. If they had pink, they were working with the 2 smalls. And if they had yellow, they were working with the 1 large and 1 small. So it just really helped out also with a lot of questions of them asking how they were supposed to do it. And then here, the cleanup steps, these were in the beginning of the year. We talked about like our introduction to STEM, and this was in there, making sure that you physically put in like, I mean, I'm sure you all get it too. Like, where's the garbage pail? So having the picture in there is definitely helpful. And then what I ended up doing was I copied and paste this now on the end of every single one of my Canva lessons so that when it's time to clean up, there's that visual reminder, okay, you're throwing away, you're resetting your tub, you're putting it on the shelf, then you're having a seat. And then modify these however you need. If you don't use team tubs, then take that away and put things a different way. Put a picture of whatever you have in there instead. So definitely don't think, while in a jam, they're pretty much ready to go. Definitely try to take a little bit of extra time just to see how you can make it more useful for yourself. So now we want to highlight some of our member STEM inspirations. If you haven't been here before to see these, if you share what you're doing on the Facebook page, and we pick a couple people each month to highlight. So here we have Aura is doing My Mouth is a Volcano. And I love her use of little science clip art to hide the faces there. 5 little pumpkins with these little cuties was shared by Ian. So here they are with their Keva planks making their little fences and look like they're having fun putting their little pumpkins up there. Dot Day Wrecking Ball was shared by Karen. And here you see how she put everything together and used the Keva planks for her kids to experiment with that. And then April shared her STEAM talk. So if you don't know, like a lot of times we're talking about STEM Teacher Club, but many of our things do come with STEAM in mind. So we try to give STEM and STEAM options in there as well. So because her school decided to go with STEAM instead of STEM, she was able to use that part to make this STEAM talk wall in her school. So if you've seen all this and want to get using it and are not part of the membership, that will definitely save you money. You can save even more by using the code PLANNINGPARTY25 to save $5. Regularly, that membership is $15 a month. And annually $144. If your school is looking to do a PO or you're able to put that through that way, then just reach out to Carly and Adam, and they can help get that set up with you for your school as well. Our next save the date will be November 12th. We will be talking about December planning already. So on here, we have a bunch of holiday stuff, but we will once again have those split paths. So if your school can't do holidays, we are going to focus on coding and digital citizenship for December because Hour of Code is there and it's a great time to put that in. And here now is your last chance. If you have not commented yet, please make sure you comment so you can be entered to win today's giveaway by 3 Ducks Design. And that's it.
So I just remembered as you were talking through all the Balloons Over Broadway ideas, I was like, oh my gosh, last year you made those Canva slides with the backgrounds.
Oh, yes. So those are in there.
So I just sent that link to Adam.
I got to put them back in there.
Okay.
We linked it in the November guide in 2024. So that's at the bottom of the November
section. Hard to find. We're going to make it easier to find.
But yeah, so if you're doing the green screen video and you want to use Canva, we have Connie and made it really easy where they just drop their video and remove the background, and the backgrounds are already in there on the slides for you.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up our giveaway tool, and I'm guessing most everybody on here has commented. So, are we giving away just one?
Just one.
Just one. Okay, here we go. Who's it gonna be? Our name showed up on there. It has picked us once, which I think is hilarious. Julie Hardy. Congratulations, you are our winner.
Send an email to info@carlyandadamblog.com with your address, and we will get that sent over to our friend Marcy at 3 Ducks Design, and she will get your kits in the mail.
And okay, we mentioned our next one is November 12th. November 12th. Guys, we will see you guys November 12th. We'll be planning all things
winter and Christmas. That seems crazy to me.
I know. So
we also have
thank you all for joining us.
For next month. We also have some new lessons coming with Shannon McClintock Miller's new books that we'll be going over as well. So if you've seen her ISTE books, she just had 4 new releases, and we've got some good lessons coming out that we're going to be sharing next month with those.
Yay. Yeah, so thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate all you taking time out of your already busy schedules We hope this is helpful. If you haven't had a chance, you can download the guide. It has links to all that stuff. We will see you next time. So good night, everyone.
Right.